If you follow our channel or watch our videos, you know we do a lot of these things where we read old newspaper articles, find old interviews, record reviews and things like that and read them, and because I think they're absolutely fascinating. The things that I really, really enjoy are when we can find somebody reviewing, for example, a concert who doesn't understand or has never even sometimes heard of the band that they're going to go see. And this article that I have for you today, I think you're really going to have fun with this. This is somebody that was put on assignment to go report on an Ozzy Osbourne concert. And when you read this, it's clear she doesn't know a lot about this at all. And then, and some of these people that write these reviews, they're actually really good, like good writers. You know, they're writing for these newspapers. And so when they get put on these assignments to go experience these things, it's kind of entertaining listening to what they have to say about their reaction, especially because they weren't a fan of this stuff. They don't really understand it. So the one that I have for you today is from the El Paso Times. This is February 24th of 1982. And it's this person that's been asked to go see Ozzy in concert. Now, to put this in context, you know that at this point, they're on the Diary of a Madman tour. And Randy Rhoads is playing. So this is before he got killed in the plane crash. And anyway, this person just tells this story of going to this concert. And those of you that are watching and not just listening, you'll see there's a picture there with Ozzy with his hands up in the air, and you can see Randy in the background. And the underneath the picture, it says Ozzy Osbourne left. Let's see here. Emotes as guitarist Randy Rhoads grooves. Former member of Black Sabbath drew a full crowd of young teenagers Tuesday. Okay, so here's the article. And this is really fun because this person starts out explaining the little interaction this person had with their boss who was asking him to go to this concert. Okay, here it goes. And the title of the article is Ozzy Legend Preceded Monster Rocker, but no one lost his head over it. Okay, Jim Brooks, Times staff writer. All right. Ozzy Osbourne will be here Tuesday, my editor said casually. Could you cover his concert? Sounded simple enough. Sure. Is there anything I should know about him? Well, he's a hard rock singer. Uh-huh. And he's got sort of a reputation. Yeah. Well, they tell me he bit the head off a dove. What? After that, he took a chunk out of a bat at one of his live concerts. Probably won't try that again. Appears he had to take rabies shots afterward. Does this assignment include combat pay? And then the editor says to him at the very end, are your life insurance premiums paid up? And then his note there, compassionate editor. Okay, now he starts off his story. Tuesday afternoon, teeny boppers invade El Paso County Coliseum. Rockstar devours screaming chihuahua. That was my nightmare headline, especially after I talked with Coliseum manager Pam Smelter before the concert. He's already been told not to pull anything, Miss Smelter said. The Coliseum management threatened a lawsuit if he tried anything too bizarre, Miss Smelter said. And forget about those dog rumors, she assured me. You know, the ones about how he kills canines right on stage? You know, by the way, it is kind of interesting if you've followed this and if you've read the stories about all this, how these legends kind of went from town to town, all these crazy things that he was supposedly doing on stage, none of which were true. They all came off of one very, very almost innocent thing that happened on stage once. And then as he moved from town to town, it just turned into this legendary thing. Okay, late Tuesday afternoon, only about 500 of the 8,050 tickets remained unsold. Teenagers were flocking in. The younger ones are the ones coming in, Miss Smelter said. Some of them look 10, 12. Word of Ozzy's penchant for the grizzly had even reached deep into Middle America. Friday, we got hit by a bunch of calls from little old ladies, Miss Smelter said, who were concerned about the antics of the rocker. They'd probably read in the paper a warning to Osbourne from the Baton Rouge, Louisiana district attorney. He told Osbourne and crew not to come to that city for a scheduled March 3rd concert. Everywhere this guy goes, it is the same thing. Something happens, the district attorney was quoted as saying. One place he bit the head off a bat. He might expose some of our young people to rabies. Okay, now we move into the next phase of the article. Tuesday night, a sellout crowd, and nobody looked frightened at the prospect of rabies. Given the pungent aroma that wafted through the cavernous Coliseum and the gallons of beer being consumed, probably nobody was worried about anything. T-shirted teenagers, some sporting Ozzy's current T-shirt with a dagger bloodily gutting the American landscape, squeezed into the arena to see the monster rocker stomp. By the way, does anybody remember that? I don't remember that concert T-shirt. Maybe somebody watching this remembers on that tour those concert T-shirts. I don't remember that particular image. Before that, though, they had to sit through an hour-long set by heavy metal band UFO. The band probably played some okay melodies, but with the heavy amplification, you'd never know it. And then in parentheses, it says, the Coliseum's Stone Age acoustics, a whole other story, didn't help either. On a few numbers, especially the popular Too Hot to Handle and Lights Out, UFO ignited the already inflamed fans. They were primed for Ozzy. Known more for his theatrics than his music, the former member of Black Sabbath opened his set by jumping from a puff of smoke bearing a huge silver cross. The stage set included Gothic arches soaring to the Coliseum's ceiling. Heavy, Ozzy, heavy. He's not as campy as Alice Cooper, nor as commercially accessible as Kiss, but his fans are just as devoted. Ozzy brought them to their feet more than once. And by the way, anybody that I remember when he toured on this concert, but I didn't go. I was, 13? It was before I really started going to concerts much. But if anybody saw this, I'd love to hear if you remember him doing that at the beginning of the show. His average voice belted out with some success, such tunes as Flying High Again, a cut off his current album Diary of a Madman, Suicide Solution, and Steal Away Tonight. He also gave acclaimed guitarist Randy Rhoads a chance to wow the spectators with his fancy fingerwork. My favorite song of the evening, Ozzy's atypical, almost ballad-like Goodbye to Romance. Curiously, the number featured a mock hanging. Ozzy just can't play it straight. And that's the end of the article. And like I said, what's really fun about these things is here you have somebody that clearly didn't know much about Ozzy, and then going and experiencing this thing and what they thought of it. And also, if you saw him on this tour, put it in the notes. I'd love to hear about that. And of course, follow the channel, like the video. You probably know people that grew up at this time and knew the same stuff. So share it with them, put it on your Facebook, or share it with people that you know. And of course, with that, have yourself a fantastic day.